So I'm back at the courthouse. Allegedly, OTF Jam is going to be testifying today. It's going to be crazy. Now, look, for me, I'm very, very excited to see him go up against Brian Steele. We obviously saw Brian Steele going absolutely crazy against YSL Woody in the whole, YSL Rico trial. It was absolutely wild. Realistically, YSL Woody being an unreliable witness and getting his credibility trashed, mainly by Brian Steele and his team, is what basically saved Young Thug.
That nigga Brian got songs out of bottom A and shit. That nigga Brian gonna cook. I know he gonna be worth every penny.
I've always said it. I've said it numerous times, even though people don't like me saying it, that YSL Woody saved Young Thug. Young Thug wouldn't be out here in the world walking around free with a tank top on, you know what I'm saying, talking about this person's a rat, that person's a rat, if it wasn't YSL Woody. King Rat, all right? And YSL Woody don't like me, but it is what it is, man. We just being honest about what's going on out here in the public space. So, allegedly, Jam...
That boy YSL Woody was spinning them niggas. That shit was the most entertaining thing I think I've seen ever in the courtroom. That state, though, this shit is federal. Fuck out of here. They're not playing around.
Testifying today. I'm hearing that it is going to be absolutely wild. This might be the craziest day of the whole trial. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. I would think that he's got to be up there a while because he's basically the star witness. And I don't think that there's really any other way that they can, take this case all the way.
How the fuck is Durk's team mad? Academics was the first source that said OTF Jam.
Without
Come on, man.
So I'm very curious. I know there's a lot of people mad at me today about the whole thing yesterday with, Durk blaming everything on Vonnie. I might do a quick little update about that in a minute, but at the end of the day, don't get mad at me. Facts don't care about your feelings. At the end of the day...
Now you talking that shit. Come on, Trap. You should have stuck with that shit before you was I'm gonna be doing positive. Nah, fuck that, nigga. Come with the facts. We'll make a decision, nigga. You just come with the shit, nigga. Cause if you hide behind the facts, that's what's gonna save your ass. If you say you're biased, that's gonna get you fucked on both sides. I'm telling you. Stay unbiased, my boy.
That's what happened, right? There was a whole bunch of stuff put on Vonnie. And, Jam is basically going to add to it. Vonnie's going to take the stand eventually. And look, I do agree with a lot of what people are saying. Durk's doing what he's supposed to do. If Vonnie is completely copping to all the crimes and organising everything, he got to point the finger.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? This nigga said, I did the shit. He just paid me to do it. And nigga be like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about. I don't have payments to say this nigga. I fired him January 2023. Hey, Durk's chances. And with Brian cooking, Brian is cooking off camera. Oh, yeah.
It would be dumb for him to, stay solid and say, oh, I don't know, I'm not going to put anything on Vonnie, but I don't know what happened. That would be dumb. That wouldn't be such a good defense. It wouldn't get him anywhere. So,
nah, facts.
It is what it is, man. But everybody's anticipating a wild day of testimony from OTF Jam. It is going to be wild. We heard some crazy details about him, sending some text messages and offering to slide and stuff like that. And yeah, just absolutely crazy. I'll see you with an update. So look, I want to give you guys another update following on from yesterday. I never said that Lil Durk's a snitch, but what I did say is that he's blaming everything on Vonnie. I'm sticking by that. I know a lot of people are kind of out.
Explain to these butt niggas, man. Explain to these people what a representative is. Like, it's like if you shut the hell up and they're gonna do all the work. They're speaking for you, buddy. They're just a mouthpiece. The lawyers go up there. They live at the courthouse. They're representatives. That's the job role. Like, there needs to be a refresher course for fucking people that get out of high school. You 5 years out, your stupid ass needs to take an online refresher course, and you better pass this shit or we're revoking your license. Nigga, it's gonna be a review. Now your puss ass has to come to a campus. Like, bro, we need to have re-education for a lot of the masses.
Here, basically like doing a little performance, just trying to, come up with the best way that they can ignore the facts and twist the facts to try and defend Durk and, placate the free Durk crowd. That's not what I'm doing here. I'm just here reporting the facts to you. And look, I don't think that Durk's snitching. I don't think Durk's lawyers are snitching. I don't think it qualifies as snitching. I'm not someone who even cares about snitching. But what I do want to say that was crazy that nobody else is talking about was that when DD's lawyer had his opportunity to speak in the opening statement, and it was said that basically, anything that the other lawyers say, unless people opt out of it, unless Brian Steele and Jwuu Findlay opt out of what DD or Lindsay's lawyer are saying, they all agree with it. So in the opening statement, DD's lawyer said that Vonnie was a sophisticated criminal that was part of an international car theft ring and he had ties to the cartel. Now look, I don't think nothing is snitching. At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. But they're talking about, hey, Vonnie has got ties to the cartel. Now I ain't heard about no ties to the cartel until that. They're putting stuff on Vonnie that I hadn't heard before. Now I'd love to know what the evidence is that Vonnie has ties to the cartel. Is that something?
It's about to get wicked, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit. That nigga Vonnie looks like a little squirrel. What the fuck? That nigga had cartel-y connects? Damn.
Vonnie said, is that something that
they're terrorist groups now?
Dug up?
Vonnie had ties to a terrorist organization? That's what you... Holy shit, this is new information. Holy shit. Holy.
Any of Durk's main lawyers that they didn't want to be part of this information being included in the opening statement that Vonnie was tapped in with the cartel. So look, I don't know what all of that means, but they are blaming everything on Vonnie. That is an absolute fact. People are just super in their feelings because they're not hearing what they want to hear. But I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. All these other guys.
That nigga standing on business. Hey, that nigga looking around, he's standing on business.
Guys, take note. All of these other guys that are just telling you what you want to hear, they're just capping. They're listening to what's going on in the courtroom and they're thinking, damn, like, how can I twist this to tell people what they want to hear? They're trying to get clicks, they're trying to get views, they're basically trying to twist the facts to just feed people the slop they want to hear. I'm not doing that, right? I've been here being factual with you guys every day. When I told you that when I told everyone that Durk took a W when they severed the charges, everyone was gassed, they were overjoyed, they were loving me. Suddenly, Durk fans love me, all right? And now I'm telling you the truth, he's blaming everything on Vonnie, which is exactly what happened. Now you're all mad, now you're all salty. I'm hearing people saying, oh, you should be banned from the courtroom, all of this nonsense. Well, look, I'm just being honest. You ain't gonna find it as honest of a take anywhere else as you will on my page. So
this nigga's from the Great Britain analyzing you fucking analyzing you people. He ain't biased at all. This nigga trying to run the content. Get the fuck out of here. Is he gonna say what he needs to say to spice it up? It is what it is. I don't think he said anything intentional. That nigga get touched. Oh shit, that shit will get just crazy, brother.
Stay locked in.
You gotta fix that tie too, my boy.
I'll be posting more on X today because it's kind of hard to get in and out of the courtroom. So what I'm probably going to do is just pop out during the breaks, make quick X posts so I don't have to leave the courthouse. Then in the full-blown lunch breaks, I'll be out doing the long video for my main channel or my second channel, Trapmore Ross, and these little quick updates here. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in there. All right, so I'm out here outside the courthouse. We got a whole bunch of friends. We made new friends. We made haters along the way, man. There's a whole lot going on out here.
And then they got a little squad now. Hey, watch them niggas. That's the back door, though.
What is going on is that there was
that's
new
the back
testimony.
door.
The lead detective on the case has been testifying. They gave some more information. We ended yesterday after we kind of heard all of the updates about, we saw the surveillance footage inside the gas station convenience store. We saw the shooting as it happened. But this time we saw a whole bunch of extra stuff. And really, we heard a lot about the cars, all right? We was here talking about we on them cars. Well, apparently they was really on them cars. Now, the BMW that Vonnie was driving was...
This nigga got a cracking joke like that. Come on, nigga. Vonnie did not park the car after the murder and got in the Uber right to Durk's house. Come on, nigga. Hey, this scary ass nigga. Honestly, I think Durk... Why would Durk be involved and let this nigga pull up to the crib? This might back up the fact that Vonnie was doing his own shit and just pulled up to Durk's. Like, oh, whoop, whoop, whoop. Like, it's just, everything's just back in normal. He's his assistant. This might have just been, hey, this nigga going doing some other stuff. He gets in an Uber to Durk's house just because he's an assistant. Maybe that nigga was on a DoorDash run. Maybe he's the DoorDasher. And he just went and did some little conspicuous shit, came back. Durk just like, whoop, whoop. Because if Durk knew that nigga was doing that shit, you think Durk gonna let him Uber to his fucking crib? Fuck no, nigga. You're about to be in an Airbnb down in Florida or some shit, nigga. You finna take the PJ. You finna take something. You ain't finna come to the spot. So honestly, I think this is backing up Durk's side of him not paying, like, having anything to do with it, not knowing about it. This nigga got back on shit. Maybe this nigga was trying to come back around, be back into the normal things, the normal way of things, and then shit, he just pull up and be like, see the shit in the news. You know what I'm saying? Durk might see the shit in the news and then be like, and then talk to some niggas about it like that. And then them niggas claim some shit, but this might back up Durk shit because you can argue both sides. I see the point. Getting in an Uber right there, you think you slick doing that shit, and Durk got the compound, so niggas got all the stimulants there, all the weed, all the motherfucking drink, some bitches and shit, niggas from the post up, being back in the normal things. Man, yeah. But also this back up Durk shit. I don't think Durk dumb enough to let a nigga do some shit like that, then pull back up to the crib in the Uber. That would show he ain't knowing what the fuck going on. Vonnie doing his own shit, so you can see both sides. With Brian being on the other side, prosecution is gonna need a big dog. They're gonna need a big dog or a nice, fat, voluptuous woman up there, white woman preferably. If she's got blonde hair, even better. She better sell that shit. So this is Chicago, Illinois, though. So shit, I don't know how shit rocking up there, but this right here, This might get spun for both the prosecution and Mr. Bryan.
Right in 2 blocks away, about 7 minutes walk away, 2 blocks driving from when the murder happened. But what's crazy is we actually heard that it's likely that when Quando Rondo's car fled the scene after the shooting, it might have actually driven right past where Vonnie's BMW was hiding. But you know what's even more crazy? It wasn't entirely clear before exactly what was going on. We know that that BMW had gone to and from Durk's house a whole bunch of times, but they revealed Vonnie was trying to be slick. He basically allegedly had driven that BMW, all right, from 2 blocks down the street after seeing Quando Rondo's car go past. He went and parked the BMW somewhere in Hollywood, and you know what he did? He then got an Uber directly to Durk's house from where he left the car, and they know where he left the car. So that's not really a great look, to be honest with you guys. That's not looking too good for Vonnie. So right after that, all right.
Yeah, Vonnie though, not
Durk. What we ended up seeing was everybody linked up at In-N-Out before Vonnie ditched the car. But apparently, quite literally minutes before, as the alleged killers were walking into In-N-Out to go and get a burger, the flights home were suddenly booked. Someone from Durk's team allegedly booked the flights. It was connected to his Amex account, and basically, they're saying that the flights were booked and then the killers had it in and out and then they flew back to Chicago. A whole bunch of them together. So that's not really such a great look, all right? It honestly was like pretty...
That's sloppy.
I mean, I'm trying to see what else was going on.
Yeah, damn. I feel like that nigga did that, bruh. That's just sloppy word, man. That little peanut head ass nigga, man.
Stuff. But, I'm going to get to it in a different video for you guys, but that's kind of the update on the car. There was a whole bunch of stuff about the car. The cross-examination didn't really yield too much. They tried to say, oh, well, you know, they said at the rental spot, they had a selfie with the guy that runs the rental spot with Durk. They said, well, they had pictures of people with other celebrities, and the detective was just like, I don't remember any of that. And it was like, what were they going to do? Be like, oh, yeah, there was a picture of, you know, I don't know, the rental shop owner with LeBron. Maybe LeBron committed the murder. It's like, yeah, but one of the murder cars didn't end up and go to and from LeBron's house. So it was a little bit of a strange line of questioning.
That's not what they're talking about, Trap. They're just saying there's other people that go out there, they rent their shit, the people that rent out to people. Hence why they might have known about that place. What the fuck these niggas know about some Cali shit? Durk been out there hellas. He might be the ones putting them on and shit, you know what I'm saying? He's not man, we all tell our niggas about Turo and shit like that. Hey, they got a bad rental. Hey, nigga, go ahead, hear the app, hear the sauce. Like, come on, man. Durk was out there fucking around doing his shit, man, making his music, doing podcasts. And he just told his niggas about some rental shit. And he's the assistant. Maybe them niggas got to pull up too. He can't fit, you can only fit like 6 niggas in an SUV. Like, fuck you talking about, buddy? Yeah, Trap a little bit off on this one.
Yeah, they're doing everything they can. And obviously everything's been very controversial since yesterday that they said, you know, Vonnie was blaming everything on Durk. Durk was blaming everything on Vonnie. So it's definitely getting a little bit messy. There's a couple of really big updates, and we're all anticipating alleged testimony from OTF Jam. So I'll let you know when that happens.
Man, fuck that, Durk. Man, if you can make a song talking about some, oh my nigga, you can motherfucking do what you got to do to get up out of there, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I'm indifferent to the situation. Honestly, I don't want to see anybody locked up. Unless you did like some motherfucking crazy shit, like eat some people. Like, at that point, nigga, we finna do something else with you. But like, man, that shit is wild. Yo.
So one of the most intense things that we saw today was a very long and extended look at what was going on inside that In-N-Out burger location after the murder happened. Now we saw basically, you know, the alleged hitters along with DD in the In-N-Out, but not only were they in the In-N-Out, they were checking their phones. They were all looking at their phones. At one point, Didi put his arm around Jam and showed him something on his phone. It was ages, and I'm not going to lie, we saw the whole footage. It was multiple minutes long. It was a long-ass time. We basically watched them waiting for their whole order in In-N-Out, and what was seriously crazy about that is the whole time they looking shifty. I'm not going to lie, they were low-key looking like people that might have just done something they shouldn't have done. The whole time they in In-N-Out, they looking at their phones, they looking over their shoulders, looking around, they kind of looking mad shifty, looking out the windows as if they thinking, yo, I hope the cops don't turn up any second. That was kind of crazy on its own, but then, like, in addition to that, they all on their phones, they're all looking at their phones, sharing things, looking at each other. Jam's talking on the phone for an extended period of time. It looks a little bit like Didi's kind of looking at Jam, so like, hey, why are you talking on the phone? But they're all looking at their phones. Everybody was looking at their phones, and I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, I went to the park the other day. Them niggas was looking at. He's in the courtroom, so I mean, he saw the footage. But bro, I went to the park, nigga. They got 7-year-olds on their phone like this, walking, grown motherfuckers on their phone. People be on their phone way more than often. Nigga. Like, bro, the clubs is like that. Niggas don't even motherfucking have the dance floor no more. It's all sections and niggas on their phone. Like, bro, people are on their phone. So, I mean, what can you speculate from that? That's going to be left up to the jury. Brian is going to spin that shit, and he going to be saying some shit like what I'm talking about. I promise you that.
Durk looked pretty pissed off when that was going on. I'll be real with you. I feel like he looked, you know, a little bit upset. He looked frustrated. He kind of grimaced at certain points, and they brought up his Amex records showing the, you know, flights had been booked in his Amex account basically after everyone had had their In-N-Out burger, and he kind of, I noticed like a little bit of a grimace from him. So I'm not going to lie, that
yeah. If you fucking book some shit after on my card, right after you did, nigga, that's the same as like taking payment. Them niggas was spooked. They made a motherfucking dumbass decision. Bro, Why would you make it on that card? You're that broke? Them niggas didn't have that shit in cash? Man, you know damn well you're supposed to take that money out the fucking ATM, go up to that motherfucking kiosk. You can go on the app and motherfucking know the times and pull up to the kiosk hour before the flight and get it like that. Like, come on, man. Them niggas literally took some motherfucking bread right after the shit. They wanted to get the payment right away. That's about. They wanted to get some money right away. They probably booked some nice shit too.
Definitely not a good look. You know, a bunch of guys allegedly just did a hit. They're all in the In-N-Out Burger wearing the same shoes and the same pants that they were wearing in the footage of the hit. And then they all on their phones. Immediately after that, we were then shown the TMZ clip. Obviously, it's, you know, the same incident where after the shooting, the car kind of pulls over at another gas station in Hollywood, and we hear Quando screaming no as Pat is pulled out from the car. It's really, really sad stuff. That clip that we saw on TMZ. Now, they didn't say this yet, but it did give you the impression that perhaps that was what they were looking at on their phones inside In-N-Out, because they said that the TMZ reporter had been dispatched immediately to the scene after Quando was on the street screaming no. That's how it was all captured on video. There were apparently amateur videographers, TMZ reporters, everybody was all there trying to get their little clip. And it's honestly dark, to be honest with you, to think that somebody gets killed and you know, their friend is screaming no on the side of the street, and people's first thought is to get the camera out and film. TMZ's first thought is to send somebody down there. That's honestly dark. But anyway,
that's it's fucked up. What's even darker is a nigga getting murked in fucking broad daylight like that, and it was a kid. Like, let's start with that. That's just a symptom of a problem. You ain't got that shit. If you don't got a nigga getting murked like that, then you don't have TMZ having stories like that and flocking on it like that. Like, bruh, that's not the problem. The problem is broad daylight killings. It seemed like that might be what they were looking at, and then there was a whole
killings
in general
about this supposed message that Didi had sent tagging Quando Rondo. Now they're saying that actually no, he was just resharing another post, but still didn't look good. And I'll be honest with you, while Didi's lawyers was talking, I feel like Durk's lawyers were looking a bit pissed off because it was like, you making the block hot right now. But I'll let you know all about that in another video. I'll see you soon. All right, so there's been a lot said about, you know, Durk being cooked and really negative things happening for Durk, but we did see Durk's multi-million-dollar, they say billion-dollar lawyers actually doing cross-examination. And I'm not going to lie to you, they were putting in a good shift. When Brian Steele was up there, he was clapping back at the main detective, and he brought up some very interesting.
Big Steele on him, stop fucking playing. Hey, shit. This nigga gotta be, this nigga's gotta be the most goated lawyer in our lifetime. Like, this nigga's collecting, man, when is this nigga gonna lose something, man? I'm looking at that. I'm looking at this nigga Brian like he Floyd at somebody. Like, bro, I'm anticipating this nigga to take a L. He ain't taking no fucking L.
A little taste of what's probably going to come as time goes on. He basically brought up some very interesting points and kind of trashed the credibility of the
what did he say?
Actually recording conversations with these alleged cooperators.
They didn't. Why didn't you record the snitch interviews? Them niggas didn't record the. Wouldn't that make the shit inadmissible? I mean, I guess it wouldn't if you got them niggas right there and they're like, yeah, we did that stuff. Like, you don't need to record the snitch.
They said you spoke to cooperators that are going to testify at this trial during the investigation, right? Including Jam. He said yes. They said you were present with Jam for 12 different interviews personally. He said, well, I don't know the amount of times, but it was quite a few. They said Jam was interviewed over 30 times, right? And the guy was like, possibly. And they said Jam is in confinement. They take notes. Do they record the meetings? They said, well, how come Jam only had 3 recorded meetings? So they're sitting down with him 30 times, only recording 3 of them. Now that kind of looked bad. Brian Steele was kind of putting in work on the detective at this point. They also went on to say that Keith Jones was doing interviews. They said that this detective, you were present 5 times for interviews with Keith Jones, yes. And they said, but only 1 was recorded. And he said, possibly. And again, this was probably Durk's finest hour over the last few days. Durk's been kind of letting the prosecution do their thing, but Brian Steele took that stand and he was putting in work. I'm not going to lie, he was looking good. This was the strongest I feel like we've seen Durk since that Severance hearing. So in addition to that, they also brought up Vonnie. They said Vonnie was interviewed.
Honestly, the snitch shit doesn't fucking matter at all. Who gives a fuck? They have a confession at that point. They have a confession, a plea. What are they gonna say? Oh no, actually in the snitch videos, they didn't say that they did it, and they didn't say that Durk was involved. Like, bro, what the fuck's that finna prove? Them niggas are saying it now.
In your presence, that specific detective 10 irrelevant times, and they said none of those were recorded, and the detective admitted it. And then Brian Steele started grilling him, saying, "Do you know why a meeting with a cooperator might not be recorded? Like, why might that happen?" And he was like, "I can't explain it to you." Even the detective, he was like, "I typically record stuff, but you know, I don't know why we didn't record those. They basically seem to say that the prosecutors wanted to have the strategy of not recording these interviews. I don't know if they wanted to get them comfortable. We're hearing that a handwritten note by Jam is being presented. But I'll be honest with you, Brian Steele was doing a great job. There's a lot of people out here kind of hating on me, saying that I'm being biased. But I'm here to tell you, Brian Steele, when he was grilling that detective, was doing an amazing job. That was the best we've seen Durk and his team looking in a few days, okay? So I would say that was a small W. I don't know where it's going to lead from here, but I would say that the prosecution have had their time, and now the defense are clapping back, and Brian Steele about to show the world why he's really making those millions. All right, so we just heard some really interesting stuff in court about some of the social media posts that were going back and forth all around Lil Durk and the people around him. Now,
Durk has screenshots of multiple academics posts about Quando and Lil Tim in his phone, along with video Quando Rondo challenge by famous Richard.
There were some very, very fascinating posts that were shared. We heard rumors that this was going to be shared, and this is a post that I've talked about in the past before. But if you remember that Instagram comedian from Chicago, famous Richard, okay, he's known for doing all type of comedy sketches and just being a generally hilarious guy. Well, they brought up his infamous video where he did the Quando Rondo challenge. You know that video that he did, basically recreating the TMZ video that was, basically tragically depicting what happened after the shooting, where Quando Rondo was screaming no and Lil Tab was on the ground. Well, that video of famous Richard doing the Quando Rondo challenge and his whole impression, that got sent around. Apparently someone sent that to Durk, and I'm not going to lie to you, I don't know who would want to send that to Durk. That's a pretty crazy thing. And now look, apparently Durk...
They don't know what the fuck Durk got going on, man. And Quando hit his man. So who the fuck you think he gonna send it to, nigga? Hey, what the fuck you talking about?
Send that. We didn't hear about a,
Come on, Trap.
To that, but whoever sent that to Durk, I don't know, people want to say I'm the police, but who's sending Lil Durk the famous Richard Quando Rondo challenge?
Goofy.
And by the way, while I'm recording, I've got the whole Free Durk squad behind me, man. What is going on? The whole Free Smoke squad is behind me, okay? So I guess everybody waiting for an update all at the same time, okay? So we get into the bottom of it. But that was very interesting. We saw a couple of
run your shit, Trap.
Posts that have gone back and
I like it.
There was basically like academics came up a couple of times. There were a couple of academics posts that apparently Durk had screenshotted. Two posts.
Look,
I'm just going to keep it real. Academics, you up in there, man. Durk was locked into your page. He was screenshotting your posts. Apparently, Lil Durk screenshotted the post that academics put up when he reposted the TMZ article about Quando Rondo getting shot at in Waycross, Georgia, back in May 2021. He also screenshotted the academics article that basically said that it's low-key distracting. Look at all these people I got here, man. I've got the whole Free Durk squad behind me. It's so distracting. But Durk's...
That's in front of you, behind us. And one, who gives a fuck if Durk took a picture? Nigga, if you murk my father, nigga, I might take a picture of the motherfucker that got released or take a picture of it. That doesn't imply anything.
Screenshotted the image that he sent to academics.
I mean, it might go towards the motive of, oh, you have this is your man's, you were down bad. There's people that are fucking down bad and Durk's not their man's. There's people that mourn celebrities because they're parasocial. So you can't really argue that. And a nigga like Brian, that's gonna.
And I had to check my notes, but the other post, Lil Durk had it screenshotted in his phone. He screenshotted the academics post where academics confirmed that Lil Tim had been arrested for the killing of King Von. Now we know Lil Tim ended up beating those charges, but this was all part of that phone evidence that they were trying to get thrown out. Unfortunately, that's still been included. They haven't fully cracked the phone yet. But yeah, they're saying famous Richard challenge, Quando Rondo challenge was on the phone. Screenshots of posts from academics was on the phone. It's a lot, okay? But I've got a whole bunch more updates.
That nigga act no better, bro. He know not to pull up, nigga. They gonna be on act ass.
And just like I said earlier, Brian
they'll be on act ass.
Job, doing a lot of objections, definitely doing his thing, pushing for justice and pushing to try and get things, straightened out for Durk. And I gotta say, I'm in awe of Brian Steele. Amazing lawyer, doing an amazing job, definitely getting some millions off of this case. So I'm excited to see when he goes up against Jam. Jam didn't testify today. It didn't end up happening. So I'll let you guys know when that happens as soon as it does. But right now, ain't no Jam. So one of the interesting things that came out today was kind of this discussion of, Lil Durk's moves when it came to managing his phone numbers, his privacy. He basically had allegedly 17 different phone numbers between the years of 2018 and 2024. Now we're hearing kind of a lot of different testimony about group chats and how he was conducting himself.
I've had like 3 or 4. No, I had 3. That's not that nigga's got to switch shit. Bitches find this shit out, leak his stuff. Some goofy niggas in the motherfucking chat. Some new nigga might get that shit out to have clout. Fuck it, my nigga. It is what it is. A lot of people switch their stuff over.
What he was doing with his phones. Apparently there was a text thread where he said, yo, I deleted my text today. Dee said you deleted it, and Durk sent a voice message saying, yeah, I delete my text every day. And my whole thread, the wind is blowing my pages. They basically said he deletes his threads every single day. He doesn't want none of these messages on his phone. Now that doesn't prove anything, but it's like very interesting that he had 17 phone numbers during that period of time. There was also a lot of talk about some group chats that were being kind of used quite frequently, and there was apparently a very big OTF group chat that had some of the most famous people in OTF. Apparently there was Doody Low, Booney Mo, there was Dee in there. apparently another well-known OTF member by the name of Jwuu, you know, Jwuu from the songs, and then obviously somebody in there apparently called Loyal, and, well, other people who were unidentified. Now, we did hear a little bit of some voice messages from some of these group chats, and they were quite interesting, but we was kind of partway through that testimony, and we hadn't quite got to the end of it. But I'm going to do another video kind of telling you.
Man, y'all niggas got to be moving like guerrilla warfare, bro. Like, Durk got enough money. Sit one of these nerdy-ass niggas down that knows how to use ChatGPT. You got the resources. You could have probably created a whole infrastructure of communication without any of this using regular phones and shit. Nigga, OTF phone, bro. Now, can they get and tap that shit? They're going to have to get it subpoenaed, and they're going to have to get in there. So you don't have false hope. But honestly, if I was moving like that, bro, I would have been. It ain't hard to fucking make a little own telecommunication device, especially people local. Like, come on,
a little
man.
bit more about some of the messages that Durk was sending back and forth.
Y'all got too much time, too much shit going on. You gotta move right.
And King Von, you know, lost his life too young. There were definitely some things that maybe he was going to answer for if he was still around. But at the same time, you know, no one should go out so young like that. So it clearly affected Durk a lot, and we heard a lot of messages back and forth from exactly what was going down right after Von lost his life, and how it all kind of played out with Durk's mindset at the time. So I'll let you guys know kind of as soon as I can break all of those messages down for you. But yeah, Durk having dozens of phones, different numbers, all kinds of things. And sounding like he was definitely trying to move smart, but unfortunately not everybody in the crew was moving as smart as Durk. All right, so we got a very big update today after everything that kind of went down in court, and one of the biggest updates was really tragic. We heard a lot of the messages that Durk had apparently sent after King Von passed away, and what was really interesting was that, you know, he gave an insight into his mindset, some of the things that he was going through, the way that he was apparently feeling when everything was going on. He said right after, he said, blood, this one got me feeling like Newski. Now, weirdly, the feds basically said, the FBI agent said that they didn't know who Newski was. They kind of was asked, they was like, wait, who's Newski? Who's that? Now, obviously, anybody that's followed this case for a while knows that Newski is Lil Durk's cousin. Now, I don't think the irony is lost on anybody that Quando Rondo's cousin Lil Pab got killed in front of him, and we saw Quando Rondo on the street screaming. No, that's exactly what happened to Lil Durk. There was a throwback video of him going around where he's screaming at the scene of Newski's death.
Come on,
and
chat.
You know, he arrived at the scene right after it happened. So that was really, really tragic. Durk went on to say in a group chat, "I'm dead inside, blood. I feel like I lost one of y'all. This shit real. I can't fool victim." And in another message, it actually sounded like he was basically denying being suicidal because he was so upset about what happened to Von. So the day after that, all right,
man, fuck nah, man. No Chicago nigga finna just, man, fuck nah, nigga. You gotta go out in a blaze of glory, man. Like,
the day after King Von passed away, one of his people basically followed up with him and said, how you doing, you straight? And Durk said, yeah, I'm good, I'm in my feelings, ready to put this shit together. Now, the cops didn't even suggest or infer at that point that that was necessarily him talking about, you know,
nah, it could have been a whole project.
Planning the revenge, but it definitely showed that he was in a state of mind and he was looking, you know, to kind of move forward with however he felt about that. Somebody said to Durk, dudes are going to be in their feelings for a while. It ain't easy to get over. Durk said, I know, I ain't letting shit slide. Him dying turned me into a different animal. And basically Durk said, what if that was you? Von would be outside right now. And Durk said, shit got me in my feelings too. And this was really sad to see, but he said, shit sick, but I'm not sending myself off. I can't.
That key part. He said, if that was you, and Von would have been out in the streets. He said, I'm sick, but I'm not sending myself off. Can't. Woo, that's true shit, though. See, Durk he did the right move right there. Damn,
I feel like really that was just the tip of the iceberg. We were kind of halfway through hearing a bunch of, you know, messages from Durk's phone and, you know, different group chats. They were talking about there's a big group thread with a bunch of, you know, really well-known OTF members like Booney Mo, Durk, Didi, Doody, Booney Mo, all of those guys. So I don't know what said in them group chats. We heard a little bit of a voice note. Apparently, Durk obviously had, you know, said, I think it was around Christmas Day, he ain't squashing nothing. He ain't ready to squash the beef. You can take a piece of the switch. And he even said in one of them, Quando can die. So he was clearly really affected.
No, yeah, of course he was, bro. That nigga was talking wild. They definitely finna bring them lyrics up. They gonna harp on them shits,
But the death of Von, obviously, what ended up happening afterwards was very tragic. But I think there's gonna be a lot more illuminating things that go on when it comes to the texts and everything like that. So I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I hear more. But that was what we heard today. It was a very, very big day, and there was no sign of OTF jam. I don't know if they delayed it. I don't know if something's going on behind the scenes. There were some private meetings between the lawyers, but we were told that OTF jam testimony would happen today. They said that yesterday, but it never happened. So if it does happen, you know I'm gonna let you know. But that's it from today.